From the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports World. I'm your host with the most, Jersey Joe, and it is time to move into a little bit of NFL talk. Obviously, there's been a lot of cuts this week. There's been a lot of discussions, but none of which bigger than the Dez Bryant situation going on right now. We've kind of all followed the news. We understand there's apparently a videotape out there. Maybe it exists, maybe it doesn't. No definitive substance if it does or if it does not yet. That really would not paint him in a very good light. It's got to be very violent of nature, maybe. But no one really knows to this point, and it's in a very interesting situation now because Monday is the deadline for franchise tagging players. And the Cowboys are in a very tough situation right now. What do you do with Dez Bryant? He clearly is wanting a big contract extension. It seemed like the Cowboys were kind of in position. They were going to give him that big extension. But with this news right now, and I think we've always kind of known, there's been a lot of hesitancy from the Cowboys about giving him that big contract. And rightfully so. This is a guy who came into the NFL with a lot of baggage, and the Cowboys kind of rolled the dice with him, and it has pretty much worked out pretty well to this point. He's had a little bit of tantrums on the field here and there, but I think for the most part, his production on the field has been very solid. He's emerged as one of the top receivers in the NFL. But with this situation right now, just look at how the NFL has kind of gone this year with the way things have kind of landed with Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson and Greg Hardy. This has been about as tumultuous a season off the field as it's ever been in the NFL. I don't know if it can really get much worse. But Dez Bryant with this video now, you've got to ask yourself, I mean, are you really going to worry about signing this guy to this huge deal, given his past, given the worries and the concerns that you have? I just don't know if you can. I think the Cowboys are in the best position to just franchise tag him. Will he be happy? Probably not, and he will probably voice his displeasure about it. But you know what? At the end of the day, you've just got to make the smartest, safest decision. That is signing him to a franchise tag. And look, you just got to do it. I mean, and there's a story this morning about did the Cowboys kind of leak this whole videotape thing. Let's be honest, folks. Don't be that cuckoo conspiracy guy. This probably is pretty substantial. There might be something here about this. Just given his past, I mean, last night the TMZ leaked the original police video where he got in a little spat with his mom. There was a little bit of pushing, maybe a couple. He physically put his hands on her, perhaps. And so when I watched that video, I have a hard time giving Dez Bryant the benefit of the doubt. I would be very, very, very worried about signing this guy to a long-term deal because when you give this guy all this money, you've just got to ask yourself, do you trust him? And I know the Cowboys like him. They've given him all of the tools off the field to kind of maintain his maturity, kind of grow up as a man. And they've done whatever it takes, I mean, in terms of security, making sure he stays out of trouble. This is a team that wants this guy to thrive. They need him to thrive. But right now, it is not a good time to be discussing really making this guy a corner piece of your franchise, locking him up for a long time, dedicating a lot of money to him. You just got to roll the dice right now and franchise tag him. I think that is where we are right now. That is what will happen. But there's a lot of people who are critical of this situation because, again, this is not substantial right now. We don't know if there is a videotape. All we've kept on hearing is that a lot of people know that there's been a lot of talk of this tape existing. Apparently there's something to do with a Walmart parking lot. It is not on a police camera. It is from a Walmart security surveillance camera. So I don't know who has this tape. Part of me is a little skeptical only because if this tape did exist with TMZ and Deadspin and all of these places that just, if they wanted this, it would be out today. That's the only part of me that has a little bit of a hard time believing that this might be real. But the tough part that kind of outweighs that is, this is Dez Bryant. This is a guy who has been littered with off-the-field issues. This is a guy who does not have my trust. And that kind of outweighs the second one. It is a difficult situation to be in. Certainly would not want to be the Cowboys right now. But I think at the end of the day, you've just got to be safe. You've got to give him the franchise tag. It is the safest thing to do for your franchise. And we'll see what that does with DeMarco Murray if you do franchise tag Des Bryant. Murray's a tough situation as well because he was unstoppable this year in the NFL. The best running back, him and Le'Veon Bell, were the hands-down most physical runners. Nobody could stop them. But I think running backs are very, very tricky because it is not safe to give a running back this big money deal because they just, especially for a guy like Murray who's shown he's really had trouble staying on the field, it's very difficult giving a running back like that a lot of money and locking him up. I don't know. It's a big offseason for the Cowboys because they've got the fans back. We saw earlier in the season last year, just remember that game against San Francisco. That was a 49ers home game, folks. We don't forget it, how many 49ers fans were in AT&T Stadium there. They've got the fans back. The fans know this team is relevant. They have a legitimate chance next year to make it to the AFC Championship game because Seattle's got a lot of decisions they've got to make this offseason. And I don't know what they're going to do. It's difficult. I think right now the first step is Des Bryant will get the franchise tag. I just think with all this talk of the video, it's too hot to give him this deal right now. It's not going to happen. By Monday, we will know because that is the deadline, and we will definitely be watching that on Monday. I'll be on the air talking about it, whatever happens. But that is going to do for this segment. Moving into some boxing, some soccer, some baseball, a lot of time, no need to rush. We will be right back.